Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Couch Crunch Podcast. I have my two co-hosts on this episode with me. I have Don and Mir. And on today's episode, we're actually going to be going over Street Fighter. And I think that was actually brought up on the Summer Game Fest event that just took place. I believe that was like Monday, I believe. I'm not sure. The new film that's coming out tomorrow, I believe, on June 17th, Lightyear. I think that's going to be an interesting take to kind of go on. And then finally, we're just going to be well, also, I believe, Don, what was the other thing? I forgot.
Warhammer.
Warhammer, there you go. And I didn't get a chance to really view that, but we'll definitely check it out. And then finally, we'll talk about Resident Evil DLC. Being brought to Resident Evil Village. So the new Street Fighter, let's check this out. I would definitely want to get some good intakes. I haven't got a chance to really check it out, but we'll see.
If Philly Garcia listened to those who rejected him, he never would have made a name for himself. But
oh shit. That shit looks so realistic. They came so far. Like,
we're in for something special right
it's
here.
It's some free roaming in it too.
Let me have some fun. Round one. Take this.
okay.
Starts off zoning with fireballs. Starts with a jumper.
I like the outfits so far. I think the outfits are really creative. I mean, they try to stick to the the original costumes, but it looks like they kind of added like new styles to them.
Yeah.
This is the range where things get messy.
I'm hearing that Chun-Li recently became in her storyline, she became a master. She's teaching her own dojo and whatever now.
Combo with the target combo.
Just trying to skip forward through it because I think it's just mainly fights. What I like from it so far, I mean, it seems like the movesets are kind of more, I wouldn't say creative, but more animation, I would say.
Yeah, they had a graffiti kind of
stuff.
The power moves.
Ooh. I mean, what I like about it seems like it's really in tune with the background of the stage and shit. I like how the intro was music jumping in there. I think that was cool.
Yeah, you can tell in this one it mixed a lot of hip hop into it too, graffiti and all the music and all that.
Both sides looking for an opening. Lots of aggression from both sides. It's the start of the round. How will they start their approach? Goes for the low kick. Knockdown. Well, they managed to escape.
I can see juggling is always going to be a thing.
Oh yeah.
Juggling in this game seems like it's you can accomplish it. I like the combos.
Yeah. He's even more fast paced than typical.
I think we needed another Street Fighter for sure. I think the last one we had was what was it, Mir? I think 5, right? I believe.
Yeah. When did that one come out?
2015.
2015. Oh, so it's been
alright, a
couple years now. Shit.
So is this mainly just Chunk? Okay, hold on. I see Ryu. I want to kind of go to them. I think. Oh shit! You got to fucking add. My man.
Hit it.
Good job blocking the jump.
A couple leaks came out too on talking about Ryu, about his story too. He went homeless and he's starting to.
Yeah, look at Ryu. He looks a lot older now.
Yep.
With the impact, who's going to start things off? Attempts to break the stalemate with a fireball. You know their fireball game is solid because they're only throwing it when their opponent can't jump them. Player 1 needs to use what little drive they have left effectively. Drive gauge is almost empty. They gotta be careful. Risky up-close scraps still going. Oh, now that is
that's sick.
Player 2 has the chance to win the round if they can put their drive to good use. Shinku Hadouken! One chance.
All right, I think we can stop right there. But I mean, I like it so far. I mean, I'm not the biggest Street Fighter fan, but I definitely know like we needed something like this for sure, because it's like the fighting community has not been like so hot for video games. I mean, I haven't been able, me personally, I know there's some been out there. I haven't been able to like play a lot of like the fighting games lately, but I'm such a huge fighting game fan, and a Street Fighter fan is that as well. So I definitely feel like we needed a new take on it. It seems like, I'm not sure as far as the lore goes. It seems like the characters, it's been a couple years since I'm guessing the fifth one, if they're like actually continuing the stories. I never knew. Like, I always thought it was actually like, you know, they just made like sequels of the game. Like, I didn't know like the characters were getting older each game. Like, I mean, that's a cool thing, and that's a cool mechanic to have in the game because it makes sense. But it seems like that's what they're going with this one, because Ryu looks old as shit. Like, he looks like he's like 40 right now. Like,
oh yeah, they always had like a storyline going on in the story mode in the background.
yeah,
as far as the character lores and everything. Yeah, I'm definitely wondering how it's gonna go when it comes out. Did they put out a date for this yet?
Nah, it's coming out next year.
Oh, next year.
So are we looking like, I believe this is probably going to be like for next gen, right? We're looking at that, or?
So we're thinking, speculation is probably going to be PS5, maybe PC. I don't know about PC at launch, but potentially later down the line, PC.
Of course, right.
Yeah, I mean, the game is Street Fighter, so it's pretty like simple, straight to the point.
Yeah.
Like you guys were mentioning, I think the devs really took approach into culture, especially street culture.
Yeah.
You know, obviously the hip hop music nowadays, the art style, obviously the setting of the game. I think this is going to take place in, the inner city. So not necessarily like, other countries. This might be a U.S. kind of like based game. It might be based in the U.S. this time around.
Oh, you're saying like the different type of music, right? Like it goes based on like.
Well, the music, the culture, the area, like stages wise,
Gotcha.
Right? Like we might see some New York City, L.A. You know what I mean? Typical stuff like that. We might not see like other countries and stuff like that because Street Fighter is known for different type of fighting locations.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, one thing I really appreciate this time around is the art style, the art direction. It gives it more of this. Don, correct me if I'm wrong, but what's the art style? Because the original Street Fighter V was similar to Street Fighter 4 in the sense that it was like an arcade-ish, kind of like cartoonish art style.
Right.
But this is definitely more of a realism, like real like take on the characters now.
Yeah.
So like I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a good direction for Street Fighter. I think this is what it needed.
Exactly.
Especially to like differentiate it from Street Fighter V, because what is it, 2015? That's what, 8 years ago or something? 8 years ago?
Right.
We wouldn't want to, like, we don't need the exact same replica from Street Fighter
5.
Because that's how I felt like Street Fighter 4 to Street Fighter 5 was. Because, like, I don't know if you guys remember, but Street Fighter 5 was horrible at launch.
Shit.
Was it? I don't remember.
Street Fighter 5, it came out, it was only on PS4. Came out 2015, and it had the story mode was like non-existent, and it had very little cast. Like the roster was like not as big as it is now. I think it had like 8 characters. So it was really, really rough in the early state when it first came out. But as time went on, it grown to become a better game.
Yeah.
But like Street Fighter 4 to Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 4 came out like 2007, 2008. So, that was like a good 6, 7, 8 year gap between Street Fighter 5.
Right.
And it's just like, in terms of like the art style and everything like that was pretty much the same. So I can appreciate this different approach now. Right. But I mean, at the end of the day, just core gameplay, it's Street Fighter. And I like it. I think that, like, from what I've seen, they added a couple, like, they didn't stray too much away in terms of gameplay, only because, like, it's Street Fighter. Again, like, it's a very hands-on, up close, bare bones kind of fighter. Like, and it's a very...
Absolutely. It doesn't give you enough time to, like, react to, like, certain things.
Exactly. It's a very, like, it's a decision, like, you have to, like, Street Fighter is not simply about just doing combos and juggling your opponent and just trying to out combo them. It's really about, being able to outlast your opponent, strategize, figure out what the best decision is, definitely pay attention to your defense, focus, study on the opponent's offense. You know what I mean? There's a lot of technical stuff that goes into Street Fighter, even though the gameplay is very simple and, again, straight bare bones to the point. But as we see, like, from the trailer, and it wasn't in this gameplay, but it was another trailer that I seen. But there was a use of like deflection. Like, there was, like, certain moves that you were able to, like, to deflect the opponent's moves. And I normally never see that too much in Street Fighter. I know, like, there's some counters you can do, but, like, this new mechanic looked a little different. So that's pretty cool. It looks like you have
that too.
Yeah, you noticed it too, right?
Yeah, because they said there's going to focus more on, like, the counter breaks and, like, being able to interrupt each of the combos or whatever. So I thought that was
exactly. Which I think it works for Street Fighter, because we only see those type of mechanics in, like, very combo heavy fighters, like
Killer Instinct,
exactly.
Yeah.
Killer Instinct, Injustice, Dragon Ball Fighters, like those fast paced high combos. You only get those type of mechanics in those type of games. So, like, again, I think having that and this one is going to be pretty cool. Right. I think it might be abused, especially by, like, beginner players. Like, once they understand how it works.
Oh, I'm sure
I think people will try to abuse that for sure. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's Street Fighter. It's the next evolution of Street Fighter. It looks good. I think it's definitely, as you said, it's well needed. Because, like, many people, but the thing, and this is my thing, like, with Street Fighter 5, because it still gets content. Most of the content is, like, cosmetics and shit.
Yeah.
But, like, I just feel like, at this point, because I know there's Capcom still releasing stuff, and I'm pretty sure they'll continue to release stuff for Street Fighter 5, because, again, based off of the game style choice in its own, I think that'll be enough to, like, make people kind of, like, pick their favorite. Like, okay, well, Street Fighter 6 is, like, this new modern intake of Street Fighter. But, you got to remember, like, I highly doubt that this game is going to have the same roster that Street Fighter 5 has now at launch. So obviously, like, for people who love to play Rose or, like, Crimson Viper or whatever, right? If those characters
Vega,
are
right?
in
Vega,
exactly,
yeah.
if exactly Vega, like, if they're not in Street Fighter 6, people are still going to go back to Street Fighter 5 until they come into Street Fighter 6. So I obviously, I think they'll continue to support Street Fighter 5. But yeah, in terms of the story, like, I never really paid attention to the Street Fighter story.
That's what I was about to get at. I was like, I couldn't even tell you, like, exactly, like, because I never paid attention to the storyline.
Yeah, like, obviously the main villain is Bison. Sometimes Azura, like, you know what I mean, Akuma, and vice versa, like, whatever. But you know the enemies of the series. The heroes. You know what I mean. So
yeah.
The story is not the reason I'm buying Street Fighter 6, so I can care less about the story. But again, I think one of the issues with Street Fighter 5 is that I think it didn't have a story mode at launch. I think that's what it was. I think it didn't have a story mode, and a lot of people were pissed about that.
Oh, you know what? I'm starting to remember what Street Fighter 5 was like when it first came out. Like, you had to buy, like, some of the characters and all that. Yeah.
Oh man, I hope they take that mechanic out of the game, at least with this one. Like, at least, like, for us.
So right, so they had. I mean, it's been 7 years. They have a lot to learn from. Trust me, Capcom is one of my favorite devs, so I know Street Fighter 6 is not going to be a miss. It's definitely going to hit for sure. Now, the only problem is that they're going this time around, they're still sticking with that whole contract with Sony. And it's like, I don't know how much Street Fighter V sold up until this point. I'm pretty sure it sold positively well, but you're still limiting your audience based off of you just having it on PlayStation. Because for me, like, yeah, well, I have PlayStation and I have PS5. I personally probably would have got it on Xbox. And I know a lot of people are like, what the fuck? Like, you play fighting games on Xbox? Yeah, because I just like the feel of the controller. Like, I know PlayStation is the home of fighters and stuff. Yeah. But like for me, I'd probably grab it on Xbox because I like the controller of the Xbox.
Oh, absolutely.
It just fits, it feels better.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like I need it on Xbox. Right. And that's going to be the downfall because if it's not for Xbox, that's going to like hurt Xbox again. But it also is going to hurt Switch owners because, outside of the old school Street Fighters, there's no Street Fighter for the Switch. And then on PC's PC, you know what I mean? Like that, you don't even need to talk about that. We all know, like, once it goes on PC, it's going to be a hit.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, because you can connect anything to that thing. Yeah.
Exactly. So, that's going to be the hard part about, just hopefully it's on Xbox. But again, I don't know because Sony's situation with Capcom and exclusivity and all that good stuff. So, I mean, it is what it is. Listen, if it's on PS5, that's cool. I'm still going to cop it either way. But hopefully this time around, let it be a timed exclusive. Don't hog it up for the next entire of Street Fighter 6.
Right.
Because there's still no Street Fighter 5 on Xbox, nor the Switch, right? Like, so like that's the sucky part, right? Like if you own an Xbox or Switch. Right. So, hopefully Capcom can like work out some exclusivity type of thing. I mean, shit, if Microsoft was to be able to buy them, then that's
to buy out Capcom, like that would be great.
Exactly, right. Like a whole different thing.
There's a lot of rumors going around who's going to buy Capcom too.
Nah, I don't see Microsoft moving in on them no time soon. I don't know. They just they work in mysterious ways. We never know exactly where they're gonna go. But definitely would like to see this franchise do well as far as like next year as well, because like we have no idea what other fighting games are going to be coming out next year as well. Like let's keep that in consideration. Like so I'm curious to see like how would this face up. Hopefully it gets its time. People, Street Fighter fans get to really enjoy it because Street Fighter is a massive game to like play in tournaments and stuff like that. Like fans really dive into this franchise. So I believe like I 100% don't no doubt that they're like excited for this game to be coming out. So definitely want to see like how would this face up next year. How would it perform, like, if it's actually going to have any glitches or anything like that? Hopefully, we won't see no issues with the game when it first comes out. And yeah, I would like to
I think one of the cool parts about it is that it was so unexpected. Like, nobody knew that. And like, obviously, we all in our mind, like, oh, Street Fighter, when's the next one coming out?
Yeah.
But nobody actually like thought in reality that it'd be coming
right.
soon.
Like, I don't think nobody had expectation. Like,
nobody.
Yeah.
Well, no, people had expectations, but people just didn't expect it to be announced this year.
Yeah.
And to be coming next year.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's the way I like to explain this type of situation is like Grand Theft Auto, right? Like we're all expecting it. We all want it to come.
We just don't know when they're going to announce
it. When that day they announce it, we're probably not going to expect when they announce it. Yeah. Like they'll probably announce it fucking next year and like fucking April 3rd or some shit, and we just get a trailer from GTA 6 or some shit like. You know what I mean? Like we're expecting it, but we won't expect it to be released until, we're expecting them to announce something or say something or show a teaser or something like that. And I feel like Street Fighter was just abruptly announced. It was just like, hey, here's another trailer for you guys.
Yeah. Definitely can't wait till this game comes out. I'm definitely going to check it out for sure. I'm going to buy it, purchase it. Definitely like just play it. I'm mostly going to play it with you just to check it out, Take us back to the old days where we used to get have fun fighting each other and shit. And yeah, I mean, I hope. Go ahead, Don.
And I was about to say also, like in the story mode for it, it's like it's supposed to be free roam too, so that you'd be able to walk around the city and stuff like that too. They have it in like one of the other trailers. Yeah, so
I don't know how I like that, but
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say
don't know
how would
how I
that.
sound about that.
I was
but
gonna say like how is this gonna work for like Street Fighter? I don't.
yeah, it's just like a story mode thing, like I know some fighting games do it,
So
like you get to walk to each area or
so
whatever.
when you mean by free roam, like you mean like pretty much just walking around like the city of Japan or something like that? Like what's the
Yeah, like
setting
whatever
behind it?
setting you're in within the game in the story mode, that you go to each of the battlefields or like interact with
Now
like
now is the
characters.
story kind of I don't know if you know like the questions I'm about to ask you. So I mean I'm just asking like if you know or if I'm just curious. Like I'm just trying to figure out like how would the story kind of like where what angle would it be taken from? Is it just like any characters or anything like that, or is it like strictly towards like Ken or Ryu? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
I'm pretty sure it's going to play out like the other story modes in the Street Fighter games previously to this one. Is like you get to play as any character and you play through their storyline,
okay,
and pretty much like they all have like different endings depending on what character you're playing as. Like for instance, Ryu, like he's like from what I'm hearing so far, he went homeless, and that's why his beard is all out and it's all grown, and like his clothes is all raggedy and everything like that.
yeah, he looks like he's rough. Like he just look like he just don't shower. Like
And like with like Ken, he got a divorce from his family, and his hair got all fucked up and everything, and he's like he pretty much is like a lone wolf, and he's just like on his own road or whatever.
yeah,
He went,
I think the main thing to capture here is like how Capcom was probably wondering like how can we make this like better looking, better ways to come up with combos, how to make it look cooler, and like Mira said, just mostly cosmetics is the main thing that they kind of was just trying to enhance more. Because especially with the new next generation of consoles, they definitely wanted to be pretty looking. So I think that's what the main thing here is. And like I said, with rosters as characters, specific characters, and you know just the play style of it. You know what I mean? I think that's why I think people are looking for this one. Um, but I hope everybody gets to be able to get their chance to really get their hands on it and have fun playing it. I definitely want to know everybody's thoughts on like how would they feel like this game will do. Would it held up for its time? Every Street Fighter game kind of run its course after a while, but then again, it's like no, Street Fighter is one of those games that you can kind of revisit. You know what I mean? Even the old fucking even the old games from back in like the 90s or some shit like that. Like when Street Fighter is always those retro games that you can kind of go back and visit. So this one might do so well that we don't know, like a couple years down the lane, hopefully we can still come back and say like, yo, this was a really good game that Capcom made for sure.
Yeah. And also I did see like they added new characters to this too. So that'd be cool to venture out to experiment with too.
Absolutely. I definitely want to see DLC too. I think that would be cool too. It's like DLC characters they can kind of bring on the game. That'd be cool.
It's funny because it recently was a leak that somebody leaked out like new characters that's supposed to be on there as well. They're gonna add eventually. So yeah.
All right. And what was that other game? I always seem to forget, man. Was it called
Oh yeah, Warhammer Space Marine 2.
Warhammer. Okay. Because I was like, I don't remember this. All right, hold on.
Yeah, with Warhammer, that stems from like a old board game, and then they eventually start making video games out of them. And this is the newest out of the franchise. They showed at the Summer
Listen to
Fest.
those who rejected him. He never would have made a name for himself.
I believe it was like a strategy type based game.
So working on a Warhammer 40,000 license, especially Space Marine 2, is an amazing honor, and I'm very excited about it. There are millions of people that love this franchise. And one of the scary things about this franchise is that there are millions of people that love this franchise.
Oh, hold on. Oh, wait. Let's actually see the game. I don't want to see like the develop.
I don't think there is gameplay because it's just a reveal trailer.
Oh, okay. Well, at least can we see the trailer at least? There you go. So you said this takes place after a board game, is what you said?
Oh no, it's like based off of an old board game, and then they start making like different games after it. after that initial board game came out.
First platoon, we've lost the square. We can't hold it.
I mean, I like the creatures. They look pretty cool.
Yeah, it got like they did show a little gameplay like during the Summer Fest. It kind of like plays out like Gears of War kind of like it's like you get to use like different weapons.
Oh, I can see it a little bit. I like the chainsaw blade thing. That was cool. It kind of resembles like the gun from I don't even remember the Gears of War gun. The what is it called? The ranch? I can't even remember that. Lancer, yeah. There you go. The Lancer. The Lancer, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, this shit looks sick.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Now, would this just be a trailer, or like what type of game would this be?
Yeah, they have gameplay of it, like they showed during the game. I don't know if you can find it, but this is during that Summer Game Fest.
I love it already. I love how brutal it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a shooter, our first shooter in like a melee kind of game.
All right, hold on. Let me go ahead and find gameplay because I kind of want to know like. Okay, here it goes.
There is nothing quite like the first Space Marine game. In September of 2011,
that's the first one. I don't think that's the new one.
That's the first one.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't think there's too much actual gameplay.
Yeah.
I think it was the interview part where the guy was the developer.
The developer.
Yeah, like where he was kind of explaining the concept, like how they made the game. That's cool. But from what I've gathered, I mean, I'm not sure like what type of setting this would be in. It kind of seems like they're kind of in space a little bit. Like I'm trying to figure out like what type of concept it is. But I mean, it does give you that kind of Gears of War vibe. I've never played that. I didn't even know about the first Space Marine.
So I got you. I know a little bit about it. So like, I don't know if you guys remember, but remember when this is maybe last year sometime, we were playing PS5 and Don, you were on PS4 a lot. I think this is when we were playing, what game? I think this is when we were playing Dark Souls 3. But pretty much Warhammer is like, exactly, Don, like you said, it's based off of a classic board game and it's a miniature war game. Like, the thing about Warhammer is that there's different games. Like there's different types of Warhammer games. I think the thing about it is that the reason why I never really got into it that much, and I feel like you guys might not that much either, is because it's a strategy game. It's not really like, it's a strategy, you edit your team. It's not a real like, you don't really control your character as much as you think you do. It's a very strategized, build a base type of defensive strategy game. Like almost think of it as in like, it's like chess. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're involved, but
so
the gameplay is based off of you strategically thinking and utilizing what you have to be able to, overcome objectives and stuff like that. Like you ever play Gears Tactics?
Yes, I have.
It's a game similar to that. It's a strategy game.
Gotcha. So every decision you make kind of matters.
Again, that's not to say that every war game is like that. Like I said, this just brings you back to my point. So like around that time we were playing Dark Souls, I had mentioned to y'all, I don't know if y'all remember, but I had mentioned to y'all, I said, yo, there's this game. It's actually on PlayStation Plus right now and it's free. It's called Warhammer Vermintide, which that version of Warhammer is a first-person co-op adventure type, survival type of game. But the reason why I said that I feel like you guys will like it is because it's in the medieval Dark Souls kind of theme setting. So you play as different classes. I believe you play as maybe like a marksman, You play as an archer, a swordsman, and there's other different roles you can play. But it's a 4-player co-op game, and you pretty much go on raids and you kill like, goblins, demons, all types of shit. I actually had it on Xbox Game Pass, and I got it on PlayStation Plus when it was free. It's a very good ass game, and that was the introduction to me to Warhammer. So that's where I know the game and the series from. But again, there's different versions of the game Warhammer. There's different types of them. So again, the one that I played, I feel like you guys would like a lot. Again, it's a co-op version. It's a first person kind of like perspective, medieval type of survival based game. That's not a very strategic, you move your minion piece by piece. It's not that. It's a very, slaughter, kill zombies, not zombies, but demons and, shit like that. But this one, the one that we're watching the trailer for, that one is actually going to be a third-person shooter. So it's going to be in third person. So it's not the strategy type game that I was talking about earlier. It's going to be a third-person version. So you guys might like that, you know what I mean? But generally, from what I've heard and seen from the Warhammer series, is that it's a very strategic strategy, builder-based kind of game. I could be wrong, but from what I've seen in all the Warhammer games I've seen and heard of, that's kind of how they are.
So it's kind of like you have to kind of build like things to kind of protect,
Not necessarily. I don't want to say like build, like it's just a building game, but it's a strategy game. You know what I mean? Like it's a like I said, you build, you create your army, you make them stronger, you fight other people, but it's not like a third person type of. You control your character and you move. It's not like that. But this one is though.
Yeah. This one is like you got like a big flock of enemies, and you had to like, like I was saying earlier, you had to like chainsaw your way through like all those alien creatures they were showing in the trailer too. It's like I don't know where it's at, but they literally show like gameplay of it. Like you had to go through like a bunch of enemies, and you had to like shoot your way through them. And like you said, it's like a third person point of view. It's like it's kind of like a hack and slash too. The way this one plays, what I've seen.
So it's basically like it's like a damn this. I can't even put my finger on this. Like you said, it's like a strategy game. So it's just I kind of want to know like how does it work? Like I've never actually played a game like that before. Actually, like resembles like thing. I played games that are kind of similar to the concept of it, but I've never played like Space Marine. I don't know if it's like it's Space Marine 2, right? So it's a continuation from the first one. I'm not sure how the first one performed. Did you get a chance to play the first one? Anybody got a chance or?
No.
Gotcha. Yeah, I thought it was actually a good idea to kind of bring it up on the show though, because like that's why I'm saying like we want to try to start getting into games like this kind of and just trying them out, see it like how does it actually do face up, because I've never really played a game like that. Always wanted to try it. It will, will I still be in? I mean, will it catch my when I play it? I don't know if it will like hold my interest too long, but if it's good enough, I have to at least try it out at least, Yeah,
I'm definitely willing to give it a go. Like it's definitely like I've seen like the first one of this came out like around the time PS3 and Xbox 360 came out. So I guess this is like a long time coming. Like a lot of the fan base been waiting for this game to come out. So I don't know. It just piqued my interest out of the whole roster.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I think we should probably definitely check this game out. And once we actually got a more of an understanding of like the concept behind this game, I think we can kind of discuss it more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think that wraps up for that one. And go ahead, let's talk about Lightyear. I mean, I'm excited for Lightyear. I don't know about you guys. I mean, I've been a Toy Story fan. I mean, look, if you didn't grow up in the 90s, let's be honest, guys. Like you had to at least watch one Toy Story, right?
Wait. I don't mean to cut us off, but I just seen breaking news.
Yeah, what's up?
So Drake is dropping an album tonight.
Oh. Oh shit, he's dropping an
Drake
album.
is dropping an album tonight, and it's called Honestly Never Mind.
That was That was, I mean, I didn't expect that
he
at all.
he tweeted it. He tweeted it. Drake is dropping tonight as we speak.
Wow.
Shit.
This is about to be crazy.
Well,
yeah, a surprise drop. Shit.
I mean, I feel like it's gonna be lackluster and mid, like how most Drake albums are. I love Drake, but like you know how Drake albums
they don't.
are, but,
I don't know. I haven't.
But I mean, everybody's gonna listen to it, so fuck, it's gonna be summer music. It's gonna turn everybody up, so you gotta appreciate it.
Yeah, I definitely did. I wasn't the biggest fan of his last one, but the last recent one from with Kanye was it last year?
Yeah, the Certified Lover Boy.
Yeah, I was like, I wasn't the biggest fan of that. And I remember staying up for like till like 12 to hear his album because I definitely wanted to check it out. Heard it, I was like, wasn't too impressed by it.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. That album, Certified Lover Boy.
So what's the name of this album? What did you say it was?
I think it's Honestly Nevermind.
Honestly, Nevermind. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, definitely you got just breaking news. Drake's dropping his latest album, Honestly Nevermind. Hopefully you guys check it out on Spotify and, enjoy the music, enjoy the time. I mean, most likely you're going to see everybody talk about it tomorrow morning, especially on the Breakfast Club. But yeah, what was I saying? I was talking about Lightyear, yeah. Like I was basically saying, like you can't be from the 90s and not enjoy, Toy Story. I enjoyed every single one from 1 all the way up to 3. But it obviously this is not like it's not continuing from 3. So in this one, I'm guessing this one is kind of diving a little more into like the backstory of Buzz Lightyear, and obviously. But the thing is like I'm kind of curious, like how obviously the animators that created this film took it in a much different direction. It looks way different from obviously all the rest of the Toy Stories.
Yeah, it looks like a different studio's taking care of this one.
Yeah, and it's like I wanted to know what type of angle like they really wanted to reamp like the fact that they really wanted to capture more of his space, like of him being a space trooper, you know what I mean? Like they really wanted to capture that. It seems like they wanted to zone in on that. And that's what it's cool, but it's like I don't know, man. It's so weird. It's so weird seeing him in like a different take. And, I think in the setting of the trailer from what we've seen, I think it's like I'm not sure if it's an actual continue, like if it's after, like I said before, if it's after part 3, because they do mention that he was Andy's toy or whatever like that. I remember them mentioning that, but I don't know, like at some point that like, was this before? Like, or was this after? I don't know if much people probably going to care too much about like that aspect. I think they just, it's more targeted towards the younger audience, the younger audience. But obviously, for more people that grew up watching Toy Story, would still go and see it or admire the film at least say like,
Oh, you know what? And it might actually take like the character that the toy is based off of. That's what I'm starting to think too. Like, the actual character, because like in Toy Stories they're all toys, but they're based off of like cartoon characters or like franchises within that world. So I'm thinking that Buzz Lightyear is based, the one that's going to be in this movie is the actual Buzz Lightyear, not the toy. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, that might. I mean, that might be that might be a good guess.
It's just a guess I had.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, it's definitely it's taken a definitely different turn, especially like with how time traveling is a big thing in this film. It seems like because he got something happened, he got frozen or something like that, and warped like into like the year something. I don't remember what it was, but it was like taking place in the far future, and it seems like a couple of years went by of him kind of experiencing what it was like. I think because he had a team and everything, right? Like I think he had a team before he before he traveled to the future, and everybody in his team from the past, didn't make it. It's been years after that he traveled. And then in the far future, it's kind of like, it's been a long time. So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't know, like, it's going in a definitely different direction for Buzz Lightyear. Obviously, who hasn't been a fan of Buzz Lightyear and Woody? If you were kids, watching Disney movies and stuff like that growing up. Obviously, everybody my first intake on it was like when I seen the trailer, I was like, oh God. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I don't know why they want to, like, if you were going to make another Toy Story, at least make it like a Toy Story 4 or something like that. Or if not, like, I think it's kind of already hit its max, like its max level, especially after 3. 3 was kind of like, it doesn't need to have any more after the third film,
Yeah, it's like, they're pretty much dragging it along.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess it'd be cool to see like a backstory on Buzz himself.
But that's what I'm saying. But maybe who knows that what can come out of this? You know what I mean? Is this like maybe now it's like with them starting a Lightyear, like this movie, are we gonna see like one Lightyear 2, a Lightyear 3? We don't know.
Right.
Mir, what are your thoughts on that?
I like it. Like you guys are right. He's definitely like, it's definitely a film that's paying homage to like his origin.
Right.
I think that's pretty cool. I think it's well deserved. Buzz is like one of everybody's favorite character from Toy Story, if not everybody's favorite character. So I think him just having his own standalone feel was like, very much deserved. The only thing that like throws me off a little bit is that I'm trying to get used to his new character design in this one. He's a lot more, and I know in a lot of the scenes, especially from the trailer,
right?
He's without his suit, so like maybe that's what it is. And then I do have to understand that we're in 2022 animation now,
yeah.
So it's not the same as how it was,
But that's why I'm saying we're so used to seeing him in the space regular suit,
Exactly. So like that was throwing me off, but it was nothing to where it's like I really had an issue with it. He actually kind of reminded me of Master Chief in a sense, like, his squad from the brief character.
Oh, absolutely. I did get that vibe. I did.
Yeah. Like, and I kind of like that a lot. Like, because we all knew Buzz was this badass space ranger, but like to see him fully in action, equipped with a team that, looks at him as a leader, like how we always knew Buzz to be a leader. I really appreciate that. And I think, that's going to go well over. But yeah, because, Master Chief, like everybody looks up to Master Chief, his entire squad. They depend on him. They rely on him. You know what I mean? Everything goes based off of his, decision making. And I kind of got that vibe from watching the trailer, So I think that's going to be pretty good. I definitely think it's going to do well enough for it to get a sequel. I don't think that this will be on par with Toy Story. I don't think that it'll ever be looked at as good as Toy Story, but it is that film that everybody kind of wanted Buzz in his own thing for. I just feel like, and not to say that it was a little too late or too long, but like if he would have came out with a film a little after the original Toy Story movies, that probably would have been great too.
Right, like we kind of waited a little
for
too
so long.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, damn, like most of us who grew up with Buzz Lightyear already old enough that we ain't watching him no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yep.
Kids nowadays don't understand how important he was as a character.
Exactly. Honestly,
so it's just like
honestly, I think we would have been better off with like a Disney Plus series, right?
Yeah, that'd have been dope too. Yeah. But the thing, I don't think Disney would have funded that because like they already have their stuff with Star Wars and Marvel going on right now. I don't think they would have funded that.
Nah.
They could have did it, but I don't think it would have because everybody's watching Miss Marvel and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Nobody. I don't think that. So a movie's fair enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, maybe this would be like a standalone thing too. Like they're just trying to mainly focus on him. And I'm guessing that's another thing. I'm really starting to think that this is not the actual toy version of him, and this is just like the character version, since he can get out his suit and everything. But of course, the toy couldn't do that.
Right. I think they're just trying to strive away. They're just trying to strive away from just like the toy aspect. I think they just want people to really like they really want people to the audience to see like he's an actual space ranger. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that's what this movie is just kind of explaining, more of his background. Which I mean, which kind of explained it in the animated series, right? Like Buzz Lightyear, obviously growing up, like that was a fucking great cartoon.
Oh, I didn't even know they had a series of.
Oh, you didn't know that? Oh, I think Mir knows. Like, I think we watched it, right?
Yeah, the cartoon, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like that was like a really good way to kind of explain, because it was him showing it. It was like a whole unit, like of bunch of rangers that were actually like, protecting the galaxy and shit like that. So I thought that was it's like we already got like sort of a backstory on like this of who Buzz Lightyear was. But in this movie, like, it just doesn't seem like it's not really diving more into his background anymore. I think it's just kind of they're just doing a whole new tune up with him. You know what I mean?
Like he probably just going on missions and whatever.
Yeah, like I think it was just like I said, it seemed, from what I've seen in the trailer, it just seems like they had some issues. They were, it was a dire situation. He got frozen or something happened, went in the future, and now he has to kind of fight. I'm guessing. Who was the bad guy again? I forgot what was his name?
It was Zur.
Zur, yeah. So I don't know if Zur's in the film, but I think that would be cool though. But definitely like to see like how would this do like in the box office and stuff like that. The critics, I mean, I don't know. The critics might murder it, but then I think it might be okay. And as far as reviews, I don't know. I give it about like maybe a 6. I know it's hard to really say, like, because you didn't watch the film, but I think most likely, if you check IMDb or Rotten Tomato, I think I'm looking about this film like maybe a 6. But again, like, it's not to overthink this the situation. It's not over to think the film. It's mostly targeted towards the younger audience. The younger audience for the most part. So and yeah, I think that wraps up for Buzz Lightyear, and then we can get into our final topic, which I'm actually the most intrigued to talk about. The DLC for Resident Evil Village. It's about fucking time. I was under the impression it's been out for like 2 years. It's just a lot has gone by. And I just thought like it's been a very long time. At first, when I've heard this, I was like, why? I'm not sure like how DLCs are going on nowadays. Because like when I was going through my phases like of DLCs, like growing up, it was kind of quick within that same year that DLCs would drop. Nowadays, it's kind of like, do they just wait a whole year to do the shit? Like, I don't know. It's just like I kind of at that like when the game is like, I would rather a DLC come out when the game is in its prime. It just makes more sense to me. It's like after a whole year, it's like who's gonna go back, buy the game, and you know what I'm saying, and then be able to purchase the DLC to add it on to the game. I don't know, but
I mean, a lot of game franchises has been doing that for a couple years too, because I guess their mindset is like they want the initial game to be spread out to a wider audience and like have the chance for everybody else to play it before they put out the DLC, so that way everybody be caught up with the initial story or the game arc. I'm guessing.
But I mean, I did check it out. I checked it out. I checked out the trailer for the DLC, and I'm really intrigued because it's actually talking about Rose, right? Like, I think that's so exciting because, like, not sure if we're gonna actually get a Resident Evil, 9. If that ever, I mean, I'm sure it's probably gonna happen in the future. I think what's interesting about it is like it's kind of talking about what happened after after the end game of Village. And it kind of seems like Rose is kind of going through a lot of shit. not sure she's infected or something like that, but it kind of seems like she's kind of losing it in a little bit of a sense. So I think that's crazy. I think that's a really crazy concept to really think about. Like, oh shit, like, because the ending of Resident Evil Village, I was like, oh shit, like I was super excited for it. It kind of it already has like that feeling that there is going to be another game. Because obviously with I think Chris pulling up on Rose and she was like walking on the road and she gets back in the car and then drives off. It kind of was already telling everybody like, oh, okay, like there's definitely gonna be like another game coming out. But it's I think it's gonna be crazy, and I think they didn't give us way too much to work with. But I definitely want to see like how does Rose like what type of mysteries is Rose going to go through? You know what I mean? Like what's what's going to be happening in the next Resident Evil? You know what I mean? Or within this DLC. Definitely, hopefully, this DLC kind of gives us like a solution, like an answer to like where's the Resident Evil franchise going towards? You know what I'm saying? I think that would be a fun thing to really think about. Especially the Resident Evil fans are really like excited as hell that they're coming out with this DLC. And then you also got the Mercenaries. Game mode. Never been the biggest fan for the Mercenaries. I honestly, it all it is like survival. It's like you have to survive. Like I think it's like a timer and you have to survive. And it's cool. You get to play as like Jack. I think Jack from Resident Evil 7. You get to play as like Lady Demetrice. You get to play like all the main villains of the Resident Evil 7 and 8. I'm guessing in Village. That gives like a good like that gives like a cool vibe to it, and that's a cool experience to experience. But it's just like I don't know. In my opinion, I'm like it's still going to be difficult to kind of stay alive. You know what I mean? I've never been like the fan to enjoy the Mercenaries, but I don't know. Mostly people out there can probably enjoy that.
Oh, so this is like a thing they've been doing in their other games too?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
What? I think Mercenaries came out, I believe, I want to say.
I think it was either 4 or 5.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, you remember Mercenaries, right? Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's Mercenaries has always been a thing. It's never been a new concept. And then I remember looking, like, while I was researching, like, this whole, DLC being given to, like, the Resident Evil Village. Remember when the online was supposed to be this crazy fucking experience? I was like, whatever happened to that? Did it actually? I think it did.
So it still is a thing, but the one that came with Resident Evil 3 was called Booty Cheeks, but they remade it to the Res RE-verse or something like that.
Yeah, it was like Verse, right? Res Verse or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's supposed to come out. I think it was supposed to come out with Resident Evil 8, but I think it got delayed and it's coming out this year.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like I was like, whatever happened to that? Because I don't know if it actually was if it was ever good. Because I remember I was waiting for it, but it took a long ass time to launch. I know that, and it just was to the point. It was like I already had beat the game, so it was kind of like pointless for me to. I'm not one of those people that likes the speed runs through the Resident Evil because you have such a huge fan base that loves to like keep, do speed runs, play the game inside and out, discover new things about it, glitch, all sorts of things, right? Like, but once I finished it, I was just like, okay, there's nothing else for me. And we knew DLC was coming, but we didn't know it was going to take a whole year to do that. So, with the DLC coming out, I'm curious if it's going to be one of those, if it's going to be a standalone thing that we can kind of buy separate, which would be great for us because we no longer had the game. So I kind of don't feel like buying the game again and then having to buy the DLC on top of that. I don't know. I think DLCs, it depends on what it is, but at this point, like DLCs should kind of be standalone at this point with certain games, not all, but just certain things. Like with this, it should be like a standalone thing. and I want to say like roughly retail for like probably 30 at most, in my opinion, because I already know it's going to be a lot of. If they took a whole year to make DLC, I'm 9 times out of 10 it's probably going to be like a long, like it's going to be a huge kind of a chunk of content playing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And with this daughter character there, they showing she was like a important part in Resident Evil Residence.
You mean Resident Evil Village? Yeah.
Yeah, Village.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, she did not really because, well, kind of. She's Ethan Summers' daughter in the game. Like
Ethan Winters.
I'm sorry, Ethan Winters. I said Summers. Yeah, that's his daughter, but she's not really like a big character within the game. Like it's not really revolving around her. It's mainly just talking about him and I believe what's his wife's name again? I always...
Well, no, I think she is.
Oh wait. Yeah,
she's captured.
Yeah, she's the kid, right? Like she's the baby. Yeah. Never mind. This whole thing was about her. It's been a while for me. Yeah, she did play a big role. I forgot.
Okay. Yeah, that was. I remember I watched you play like some of the gameplay when you first brought it, and I remember there's like that kid character, and I'm guessing that was
basically the main generator of this whole game. Like that's the reason why he went on this wild goose hunt to go find his kid. And obviously he got her back towards the end. Well, he didn't get her back, but he kind of sacrificed his life to save her and stuff like that. So, and she obviously years went by, and he already passed away, and this she's already old enough to experience like what life's about and shit. So that's why I'm saying like it's been a couple years since she's grown.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on it?
Yeah, so I guess it seems like you're playing as her in this one, and it seems like I'm guessing she's picking up for where her dad left off at, or like I'm trying to remember. Did they show like the antagonist also in the trailer?
No, I don't believe so. I think it's kind of just showing her kind of experiencing some, I don't know. I think like she may have been fucked up somehow. I don't know when she was going through whatever she went through. And I mean, when, Ethan was kind of trying to rescue her from, like all these creatures, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure like if whatever effects affected her.
That's what happened. Like the aftermath of Ethan, like she gets powers, so like she's facing the effects of obtaining these new powers. Like,
right.
So she's like, I don't want to say hallucinating, but like she's like seeing things. She has to battle the atmosphere that's going on around her. That's solely what it is. It's not. I don't think it's a direct continuation of what happened with Ethan. I think it's more so just her trying to understand what Ethan was going through, what was he, and like what she now has to face in her life. So I think it's just her kind of understanding what happened from that period and just learning to adapt to all these new things that are going on around her.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, I do remember seeing her gain like those powers and everything.
Yeah, that's actually what they were worried about, though. Like towards the end of the game, they were worried that because I remember she did show them like, "Hey, don't touch me." I think like they were trying to grab her or something like that, touch her. Umbrella's actually kind of afraid of her because she does have powers, and she doesn't. I don't know if we don't know if she's ever known how to use them. So it's kind of like it's one of those situations where it's like she's actually not stable. Like you don't know what's gonna happen. So that's why I'm saying like it's curious to see like we've never played as a character that had powers before in Resident Evil, right? Like let's really think about that. It's always been guns and shooting shit, and that's about it, right? I think that's the first thing about it. Like she has powers. Like we don't know what type of power she has.
Yeah, that's a different take on it.
And think about it, right?
Like, I don't think it's necessarily like powers. Like, well, I mean, from the game, I think it's more so like, more so of a like, not necessarily physical powers, like she's able to understand and like sense things, right? Like
Oh yeah,
she can
yeah.
sense danger. She's aware of certain things that's going on. You know what I mean? She can obviously see like the supernatural and shit like that. Like, I don't know about her like having like crazy strength or like telekinesis
Having
and
to
shit
lift a
like
car or
that.
some shit.
Yeah, like I don't know if it's gonna be that type of powers, but I think she will. I wouldn't even call them powers. I would just say abilities. Like she has certain abilities that allows her to like, you know, see and deal with certain situations from like the whatever the fucking demons and enemies are in Resident Evil.
I'm just so curious to like see like how would this trickle down to like the next Resident Evil, because obviously that's probably what's going to happen, or it could be one of those situations where because even with at Resident Evil 7, I believe the DLCs had nothing. Well, one DLC did trickle down into the next game, I believe. But I think they had like 3 DLCs or something like that on Resident Evil 7. It had nothing to do with the next game. So I don't know. It might be one of those situations where it might explain what's going to happen next. But it might be one of those situations where they just kind of gave the DLC for Resident Evil fans to enjoy. You know what I mean?
Make it like a standalone thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Character. Yeah,
and
that would be cool though.
I mean, this I think this was such a good. That's the one thing I could say. It's like it is good for business because they dropped the DLC, so now it's gonna get people to want to buy the game again and then try the DLC. So it was kind of like that is dope if you have to buy the game, you know. But my indications point to I believe you're gonna have to buy the game to get the DLC. It's just, I don't know. I don't believe it's going to be like a standalone thing. So, but definitely,
yeah, exactly.
But definitely excited for Resident Evil. Because I even with Resident Evil 4, right, being remade, we already explained our thoughts on that, and you know, Resident Evil is just a trending topic right now. So,
They're cranking them out.
Man. It's just definitely. They're just
Oh yeah, they also added a third person point of view in the
DLC.
Yeah, and for the initial game too, for the original.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, it should like in my opinion, it should always have been like that. That's just a traditional view of playing Resident Evil. When they did it in 7, it was kind of like I didn't know what they were kind of going for like a PT kind of approach, because that was around a time where PT kind of like shocked the gaming world for horror games and shit like that. And mind you, Resident Evil technically is a horror game, but it was like mostly like like not thriller, but like it wasn't. It was just an action horror based game. It wasn't like intend to like be scary and shit.
It's mostly like a shooter.
Yeah, so when they made 7, they definitely were inspired by that. And
and just like the first person point of view trend going on at that time, everything that had to do with like a shooter games, first person. So
not like I said, like I don't have a problem with it, but obviously if you've been a Resident Evil fan, a traditional fan, like everybody's always played in third person. Like that's basically what it is. Like so
yeah, I like it. I like the way it looks better in that way. Anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You get to actually observe your character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I like that. I mean, first is cool. I guess it depends on what type of game setting it is, but just strictly if we're talking about Resident Evil, I think it should have always been in third, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that wraps up everything. You guys have any short takes that you guys want to talk about?
Oh, that's about it. That's
fuck, what is it they call? Oh yeah, the Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 was Overwatch 2 was announced, and it has a release date set for October.
Ooh, I love Overwatch. Yo, Overwatch was so fire, dude.
And it's supposed to be free to play. So it makes it even better.
Out of here, really?
Yep. Overwatch 2 is going to be free to play. I think supposedly it's supposed to be more PvE based. So it's supposed to have a full line story mode. It's going to have PvP content. And obviously it's going to have its PvP. Now, I think at launch, I don't think it's going to have the PvE and the story mode and stuff at launch. That stuff you might actually have to pay for. I don't know. But I know October is going to be free to play, and the online, the PvP is going to be free to play. There's about, I want to say, 4 to 8 new heroes coming to the game. So people should go ahead and look forward to that.
For sure.
And yeah, right now they just they unveiled all the gameplay today, actually, on the 16th. They went live on YouTube a couple hours ago and gave an overview of the game, how it works and everything. And they also said that pre-order, I'm sorry, not pre-order, but signups for the beta that's coming out, I think next week or within the next 2 weeks.
Ooh.
So there's going to be a open beta. I'm sorry, closed beta. Obviously, you have to get an invite. So definitely feel free to like sign up, check it out, and hopefully everybody can get a code and check it out and play it. I know I signed up for one. I'm pretty sure Lee is going to sign up. Yeah, we're going to try to go ahead and play that before the actual launch date, so I can kind of get some perspective and some good thoughts on it. So I'm excited for it.
Absolutely, I think that's such a great thing to hear, because it's like I think the first one was like $40. I mean, yeah, it was like $40 for like fucking.
No, the first one was $60
for like how long though? It's been like a couple years.
I think it still is $60.
So it's like it's crazy how you go from that to like free to play. I mean, obviously there's going to be purchasable content within the game, but at least that the game itself is free to play. You know what I mean? I think that's such a great thing to know. You know what I mean? I think that's cool as fuck, and I'm definitely going to be trying that out when it comes out.
Yeah, I remember seeing that on the Xbox showcase too. Like they said, it's going to be part of the Game Pass and everything.
Yeah, man. Definitely look forward to guys. Definitely go ahead and go look forward to checking that out. Definitely. This you said it comes out this summer.
So the beta, I think there's going to be a couple betas over the summer.
Okay.
But the actual release is sometime in October.
Okay. All right. Well, we're looking good for the fall, at least, because at least with Forspoken, and then now we got Overwatch 2. Yeah,
we got Splatoon 3, Modern Warfare 2. There's a lot coming out this fall.
Absolutely, yes, yep.
Or
Summer's not looking too hot for besides the quarry. Hopefully, you guys we'll talk more about that on the next episode. But hopefully everybody got some games to enjoy for the summertime, especially with Mario Strikers that just came out recently. My short take, I wanted to talk about, kind of want to dive into that. It's not really like a big game that I'm kind of expecting, but it's interesting. That I think Mir has sent me it. It was the Ghostbusters. I think that was going to be cool.
Yeah.
Like I didn't see any like gameplay on it, but I mean, I'm assuming like it's going to be better than the last. I believe the last Ghostbusters game was not the best, right? There wasn't.
So the original one that was on, I believe it was like PS3 and stuff.
Right.
That one was cool.
Was it?
That one was cool.
Is it made by the same developers with this one, or?
No. This one is being made by who's making this? Give me 1 second. So the game is called Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. And it's going to be a 4-player co-op. It's going to be horror based. They said that in the description it would be horror. So like there is going to be jump scares and ghosts and ghouls, and it is going to be fearful, scary a little bit. So that's going to be in there.
Oh, so there's
not too much on the game right now. It's being developed by Ilphonic. So let's see. What did they?
Kind of sounds like a new developer.
So all right. So I'm okay with this because they're the developers who developed Well, they supported in the development of Crisis 3. They also helped with the development of Evolve. And I loved Evolve, so I'm all on board.
Oh, hold on. These are the same people that made Evolve? That's cool as fuck.
No, they didn't make Evolve, but they helped in the development.
Okay, so
they did, though, make Friday the 13th.
Well, I mean,
they did develop that game.
So Game Media? I thought that was Game Media that made that. Oh.
Let me see. So,
I thought that was Game Media that made that.
No, it was published by Game Media.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, the developer is Illmatic, right? You said?
Illphonic. I might be pronouncing it wrong, but it sounds like it's Illphonic.
I said Illmatic.
But
who does not?
But nah, I mean, yeah, I don't think there's not too much on the game right now. There's just an official reveal trailer. But I mean, it looks good though. Like it looks like a co-op kind of. It reminds me of what was that game that we played on PC?
I think it was called Ghost Hunters.
Midnight Ghost Hunt. Yeah. So it might be something like that. You're 4 Ghostbusters, and there's one ghost or multiple ghosts, and
Yeah, but with this one, I believe with Ghostbusters, it's probably going to have a lot more budgeting behind it. So most likely,
right? Yeah, it's definitely probably going to be a little bit more grounded and stable, and more polished and all that good stuff.
Yeah, because I could see this being on like the consoles as well. It's Ghostbusters.
Right now, I think it only has a PC release date. Let me see.
Really?
Oh no, it's on everything.
That's why.
Besides the Switch, but
I mean, the Switch. But listen, the Switch is not looking good too right now. Like I've been seeing so many videos on like the Steam Deck saying like, oh, the Nintendo is going history or some shit like that. I don't know.
Listen, the thing about the Switch is that the Switch is about exclusivity. Like, you can't get a Steam Deck and play Mario like that. That's why people stick with Nintendo. Like, you can't get Splatoon on a Steam Deck. You can't get Splatoon anywhere besides Nintendo. So, like, the Switch is still going to sell. Like, even when the Steam Deck officially fully launches and it's like you can actually purchase it, like by going on the website directly.
I think we did an episode on there. I think it already officially.
Yeah, it's out, but like it's not. You can't buy it, right? Like that was just the first pre-order wave.
Oh yeah.
Everybody who purchased it, but like when it officially like launches, people like because again, Nintendo is about exclusives, right? So like Breath of the Wild 2, like. They not gonna let somebody pirate and torrent that on the Steam Deck. Like that's only gonna be on the Switch. So it's like, you know what I mean? That's why Nintendo is always gonna strive, always gonna sell, they're always gonna be there, always gonna do their own thing. Like
right.
You can't compare with Nintendo. As much as we don't like them sometimes because they're poor choices, we still buy their shit because we love their characters and their games.
It's their poor.
You know what I mean?
It's their poor choices.
The highest style of ones consoles out there.
Exactly.
It's their poor choices, and they don't choose to try to make it better, like make the experience a little better for people to enjoy online. And I don't know if it's just me being picky with that, but I don't know.
And no matter what we say or do, we can't do shit about it. We still gonna buy the games. Like Splatoon, my biggest thing for the third one is that I want to be able to directly invite my friends to my party. You probably won't still be able to do that, but I'm still going to buy the game.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to be fucking nitpicking and irritated, but I'm still going to buy it. I'm still going to enjoy it. That's how Nintendo gets you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit wouldn't fly with Sony, though. Sony or Xbox, they could not let that. There would be a fucking riot if they did that.
Never. I don't see them ever.
That's why. Like, you know what I mean? It's the privilege. Nintendo is like a beautiful woman. Like, it gets privilege that other brands wouldn't get. Like,
because it's Nintendo.
If PlayStation had some shit where it was like, oh, like imagine if PlayStation kept all its first party games at $60 all year round for the next 5 years. There would be an uproar.
Yeah.
There would be an uproar.
Sony scans people enough as it is.
Exactly. Like, and we have a fit with that.
Don
but
knows,
Nintendo,
Don knows.
Bro, Breath of the Wild is like 6-7 years old, and it's still $60. Nobody says anything. Nobody says nothing.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
Super Mario Odyssey is still $60. Why? Nobody says shit, and we can't say shit because it's Nintendo.
Even something that's not even as high key as those games, like Astral Chains, that shit was still like
$60.
And people still buy the stupid shit is that they still buy it. Yeah, like
because it's not gonna go down in price. So it's like you can sit up there and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna wait for a price drop." No, you might, and if you do get a price drop, it's gonna be like 25% off,
bro. It's gonna be like $40, but you still gonna pay like
exactly $40 minimum. Like I remember Splatoon 2, that went on sale for like Black Friday, which was like a day. It was $40. It wasn't even lower than that.
Yeah. That's the same thing with Bayonetta 2, and that shit been out for years now. I've been trying to catch up with that one for the third one that's about to come out. I'm like, damn. They definitely don't drop their prices.
Never. And even on a Black Friday, man, it don't matter. Damn, man, Nintendo. You got to start doing it, man. You got to start giving out them sales, bro.
Yeah, being greedy.
But, yeah, definitely. I think that wraps up everything. I think I went over all the topics. But hopefully you guys enjoyed all the content we discussed on this episode. Leave a like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Spotify, and I believe on Apple Music as well. We're on all podcasting platforms. Hopefully you guys been enjoying all the content we've been providing on those platforms, and definitely start reaching out, and because we kind of want to know like what you guys' thoughts and opinions on like how we've been doing, or like reviewing the kind of content that if you guys want us to review or talk about, we definitely want to hear what you guys think. And I believe that's it. I think you guys have anything else?
Oh, that's all.
That's it.
All right, we'll see you
We'll
guys.
save whatever for the next episode.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Yeah. Peace.